against the Texas Rangers. Friday night at 8:30 on Channel 2.
Coming up tonight on the News Hour, the sights and sounds of opening day. We'll bring you team coverage of the players, the fans, and of course the last season on 33rd Street. This is closing day for the players in Annapolis. We'll bring you the legislative highlights.
In HealthCast tonight, making baseball safer for our younger players. We'll tell you about the reduced injury baseball game. And we'll meet a new Oriole in the nest. Glenn Davis is almost certain to be a big hit for the team and also for our community. Good evening, everybody. I'm Stan Stovall.
And I'm Mary Beth Marsden. This is our opening day edition of the News Hour, and it's coming up next.
From WMAR-TV Baltimore, friends you can turn to. You're watching Channel 2 News at 5 with Sally Thorner, Stan Stovall, meteorologist Norm Lewis, and sports with Scott Garceau. This is Channel 2 News.
Well, you know it's almost summer because the boys of summer are back at it on 33rd Street, and more than 50,000 fans turned out on this glorious day to cheer them on.
This is a new beginning for the Orioles, a new season full of hope and promise. But this is also the beginning of the end for the Orioles' stay at Memorial Stadium. Good evening, everyone. What's that old saying? It doesn't matter if you win or lose. Well, today it would have been nice to win, but this opener will be remembered for much more than just the score.
Yeah, today's opening day is the last one ever to be played at Memorial Stadium, and it was full of nostalgia and lots of memories. You may think back to the very first home opener back in 1954. The O's took on the White Sox in that game. Today it was the White Sox coming into town again. However, the score was different this time around.
Certainly was.
Yeah, White Sox winning this one 9-1. We're going to have some highlights of the game a little bit later on.
Okay, but here in Baltimore, of course, baseball is much more than just who wins and who doesn't. Baseball and the Orioles are a way of life. And the last home opener at Memorial Stadium was full of special memories. For Bullet Bob Turley and Virgil Trucks, it was a chance to come back after all those years and remember opening day 1954. Bob Turley pitched for the Orioles, Virgil Trucks the White Sox. That was the day then Vice President Richard Nixon threw out the first pitch. Today, Vice President Dan Quayle did the honors, and we put him to work for a while in the broadcast booth.
Yes, I had a...
White Sox ahead 3-1. Mr. Vice President, you ever do any play-by-play?
I've done a little bit of play-by-play. I don't know how good I am, but you want me to try a little bit?
Yeah.
All right.
Let me tell you who's hitting. Craig Worthington's hitting for the Orioles.
All right. And
oh, here's the lineup, as a matter of fact, right here.
The count is 2 balls and no strikes.
Vice President Quayle says next year the president will probably pull rank and throw out the first pitch in the new stadium.
All right, Oriole fans gave the vice president a warm Baltimore greeting, but nothing like all the hand clapping and screaming for those with Orioles spelled across the front of their chest. Channel 2's Jamie Costello reports on all the hometown rooting for the hometown team.
Orioles Hall of Famer, the manager, number 20, Frank Robinson.
A city waiting to erupt. After a winter of sitting on our hands, all it took to end the rut, just a few names to drop.
And now please welcome back an all-time Orioles favorite, number 46, Mike Flanagan.
Nothing like the starting lineups on opening day. So, who got the best hand?
Mike Flanagan. It's great to have him back in Baltimore.
Just when Flanny had the title wrapped up,
Number 8, shortstop Cal Ripken.
who did you clap for the most out here today?
Probably Cal Ripken.
Mike Flanagan.
Cal Ripken.
And we've called in the judge.
Who got the best ovation out here?
Cal Ripken did.
By how much?
About 2 claps.
But wait, there is an inquiry.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Secretary of Defense of the United States, Mr. Dick Cheney.
If you couldn't be here on opening day and be among the 50,000 plus, we're going to give you a seat. Usually selling for $8.50 to you, absolutely free.
Cal's going to have a great year this year. Great year. 30 home runs. Golden Glove.
Ball, 1 strike to count.
That curveball is lined down the left field line. Fair ball into the corner.
Glenn Davis is going to hit 40 home runs this year.
And jot this down for trivia. The first standing O on the last opening day game belongs to first-year Oriole Glenn Davis, who knocked in the Orioles' first run. The numbers are going to fly at us like that all summer long. In the upper deck, Jamie Costello, Channel 2 News.
We could use some Patriot missiles, knock down some of those long White Sox rockets that were coming in.
Absolutely.
Well, from the upper deck of the stadium to all the front porches on houses on 33rd Street, Orioles fans celebrated today.
Channel 2's Carolyn Prasuti takes us outside the stadium to Waverly and the traditions of opening day.
It's normally a line of quiet row houses. Its claim to fame comes in spring and summer as the official route to the stadium. But the traditional opening day parties may change once the route changes to Camden Yards.
Always beer. There's lots of beer. It just depends. Usually it's like, most of the time it's like pretzels and beer. It depends how much money we have.
What will you do next year?
Next year, move.
Imagine pulling into your favorite 33rd Street gas station and finding an opening day party.
My employees, it took us like 2 days to get it real nice and clean for everybody. About an hour to set it up, and it doesn't take that long to clean up.
I've been coming here since 1980. I've been parking up here since about 1982.
Always partying at the Amico.
Always partying down here at Amico.
They come from far and wide to talk about home plate as they fill their own plates. So you have season tickets for the Richmond Braves, but you never go.
Never go. Never go. I come up to their City O's play, though. Always opening game, just 10 years in a row.
Managers are thinking about continuing the party next year and shuttling revelers to the new stadium. Dante David makes $15 every opening day.
Since you live in this area and you've been doing this for several years, do you think you'll continue doing it next year?
Yeah.
How will you do it?
By going down to the new stadium.
And some residents just like to watch the parade of fans in quiet solitude.
I'm going to really miss the crowds of people in a good mood. You don't see that all that often.
Field's earrings tell her closeness to the O's. She's the official artist of the Oriole bird.
Some of those traditions have been going on for years and years. The people in this neighborhood say they're not just going to quit just because the crowds are passing them by. They're going to follow them as they head in the other direction toward Camden Yards. Excuse me? Right outside the stadium, Carolyn Prasuti, Channel 2 News.
In addition to finding new locations for their parties and traditions, for the first time in nearly 40 years, Waverly residents will have to find a place to park near the new stadium. The Baltimore Orioles, of course, will have all new neighbors for the 1992 season near Camden Yards downtown. The new stadium is already beginning to take shape. It is described as an old-fashioned ballpark with state-of-the-art amenities. And Mother Nature's been helpful, providing plenty of rain-free days so construction remains on schedule. The grass is supposed to arrive sometime this August, and stadium officials are confident everything will be ready for the Baltimore Orioles opening day of 1992, and we hope they win that one.
Well, even as that new ballpark becomes more of a reality, the affection of fans for the soon-to-be former home of the Orioles becomes more urgent. Memorial Stadium wasn't perfect, but even those who scorn her say they'll miss her once she's gone. Andy Barth takes a look back at the park's past.
On the first opening day at Memorial Stadium, Richard Nixon threw out the first ball. Today, it was Dan Quayle. In between, the park went from Stadium of the Art to a place the Orioles couldn't wait to leave. It wasn't quite finished on opening day in 1954. The stadium was built in stages, almost tentatively, as the city cautiously accepted its return to the major leagues. It was truly multi-purpose, housing the ballet one night and the circus another in a display of versatility Pat Centerone would never have countenanced. The Ice Capades sent a chill over second base, and the Colts played there with no upper deck. That year's Orioles never looked better than on opening day. Jerry Hoffberger was one of the ownership group that brought the team east from St. Louis. Today, as they get ready to leave Memorial Stadium for Camden Yards, he has only high hopes for the future.
I hope that the town, I hope the city gets as much out of it as we seem to have gotten out of the old stadium. I hope that there's joy and happiness and a whole lot of wins.
There were 100 highlights over the years, like winning the first World Series in '66, almost getting there in '82, and Colt memories too great and too painful to mention. Those who work there find it hard to let go.
The stadium is a part of us.
Oh, I love the stadium. Beautiful stadium. It's had some of its faults.
it could be corrected.
But some of those who loved her most say it's time to move on.
No doubt in my mind, if we stayed at Memorial Stadium, we would have lost our team just like we lost the Baltimore Colts.
If you were calling that last game, you probably will be announcing
Yeah, I will be. That's right.
What are the things you'll want to say? Have you started on those last lines?
No, but I have been thinking about it. I'm afraid that I'm going to be feel a real emptiness inside when we do that last game at Memorial Stadium. I think it's going to be a lot of emotion involved.
Brooks won't be alone. I'm Andy Barth, Channel 2 News.
Thank you, Andy. The two issues remain unresolved around Baltimore's stadium picture. No one knows for sure the name of the new stadium or the future of the old one. It's at least likely that if Baltimore gets a National Football League franchise, the Memorial Stadium might be used while a new football stadium is being built.
And, of course, there's yet another tradition of Memorial Stadium, the gridlock after the game.
Let's get our first check on the traffic situation from Metro Traffic, Sandra Woodward. Sandra, in addition to the normal highways, how about around 33rd Street?
Well, 33rd, I'll show you that in a second, Stan. Unfortunately, we've had some serious problems on the Beltway before the game let out, and that's led for some unusual delays on the Beltway itself. The Northwest Interloop is stop and go from Pryor to Greenspring over to the Harrisburg Expressway, scene of a 3 medevac flyout in the Interloop ramp to northbound I-83. That ramp has finally been reopened. And the West Side Outer Loop is slow roll also from I-70 down to the 95 interchange. That's finally starting to pick up speed, though. We have your usual slowdowns coming out of Towson on the Northeast Interloop from Charles Street to Providence Road, and West Side through Catonsville, some slow traffic. Now, 33rd Street is one-way westbound now as folks leave the stadium. You're also going to find heavy traffic moving outbound on the Jones Falls Expressway heading up towards the Beltway. That's the latest from Metro Traffic. Back to you, Mary Beth.
Thanks, Sandra. His name is new to the Orioles roster this year. He's the highest paid player in Oriole history and is expected to be a heavy hitter. Glenn Davis has come a long way. He says he's excited to be in Baltimore, number one, to play ball, and secondly, to be a part of the community. Glenn Davis thinks the uniform and the city will fit just right.
I am thoroughly impressed with Baltimore. I like it.
Glenn's a slugger and a family man. He and his wife Teresa have 3 daughters. And what Houston will probably miss most about the Davises is their desire to help others, especially children.
2 for 3 for Glenn Davis. He was hit by a pitch once. What a tremendous humanitarian. Not just Glenn, but Glenn and his wife. Set up homes for abused children.
Well, my wife and I have started a lifelong dream there in Columbus. We'll be building homes for children who have been abused, abandoned, neglected.
They'll be called Carpenter's Way Ranches and will be modeled after these shelters in Alabama. Glenn has very personal reasons for getting involved.
I had a rough childhood. I came from a broken family, broken home.
That troubled teenager never imagined where he would be today.
Big salary's not important. I mean, not important to me. You know, I can't help that I'm a ball player. Now, what am I going to do with the excess that I have? To me, that's where being able to help others out and being able to get involved in their lives and giving a little bit back, that means a lot to me.
It is also important to Davis that he keep the glamour world of big-time sports away from his children. But you bet they'll know if the Orioles end the season with a championship. Davis is hoping to be a part of that.
And then even take it a step further than that, going to the World Series and winning the World Series. I mean, that's when I put on this uniform, I'll walk out on this field and start from day one, or even in the off season when I start training. That's the ultimate goal.
Glenn says he owes a lot to the family of fellow major leaguer Storm Davis. Storm Davis's father was Glenn's high school coach and really guided Glenn through some rough years. It's just a coincidence that they happen to have the same last name.
Yeah, I've heard nothing but good things about Glenn Davis from out of the Houston area, in particular his work with children.
Yeah, they're
and I think
miss him.
Yeah, he's off to a great start here in Baltimore. The Orioles didn't have much to cheer about today, but Glenn had an RBI double and was named the Oriole MVP for the game. So, good start, Glenn. Welcome to town. Still ahead on the news hour, the beginning of baseball season is also the end of the legislative season. And Maryland's first friend spends this opening day in the hospital.
But first, a look at the folks who can say they witnessed baseball history. We'll be right back.
This is a Heckinger? It's great. It's new, no? The prices.
This week, pay just $8.99 for Scott's Turf Builder. Turf Builder Plus 2, just $11.99. And if you're working with wood, treat it right. Save now on all Minwax products. Minwax wood stain is just $4.44 a quart.
Great prices. I'm impressed.
Price is good at all Baltimore Heckingers.
It's got it all.
Somewhere, special memories are waiting for you. Somewhere your dreams can come true.
Somewhere between the sky and the sea, between the night and the stars.
Somewhere, only on Princess, because it's more than a cruise. It's the Love Boat.
Taco Bell's done it again, oh my. 69.89, 109. 3 new menus at a great low price. 69.89, 109.
Check it out. All our favorites have great low prices, like delicious soft taco supreme and our new great tasting nacho supreme. So run for the border.
69.89, 109. Taco Bell's done it again. Run for the border. It's late. You've been working hard all day, and now it's time to play. Wheel is gonna get ya. 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 Wheels on! Wheel is gonna get ya. Wheel is gonna get ya.
Tonight at 7 on Channel 2.
Well, from the sounds of it and all the excitement, you may have thought that everybody was at the stadium today for the opening, enjoying the great weather. But one fan was unable to attend. After a long night at the hospital, a tired Governor Schaefer stayed in Annapolis.
Governor Schaefer's friend and Maryland's official hostess, Hilda Mae Snoops, has been hospitalized after a fall at the mansion. Mrs. Snoops usually avoids the television cameras and doesn't like doing interviews, but we did get some shots of her here the day the mansion fountain was unveiled. Snoops was taken to Mercy Hospital shortly after 8 last night. She was accompanied by the governor. Hospital officials say they have been asked by the governor's office not to release any information about her condition, but we've learned she apparently pulled a muscle in the fall. She's undergoing tests and will probably be released later today or tomorrow, and we'll keep you updated. While baseball season is just beginning for the Orioles, the legislative session is ending for lawmakers in Annapolis. Bureau Chief Lou Davis has been covering the session since January and joins us live from the newsroom. Hi, Lou.
Hi, Mary Beth. You know, even though the game is far from over, even near the controversy, at the end, there's still a problem.
Baltimore City had been counting on a $10 million ongoing appropriation for things like police aid and essential services. There is a last-ditch attempt, and it looks like it will be successful to limit that aid to a one-time deal. So the city will have to come back again for more money next year. Election reform is coming right down to the wire, but it appears as if campaign contributions will be limited to $6,000 for each candidate from political action committees and a $4,000 contribution from individuals. We're also still awaiting final word on a bill that would increase the standards on auto emissions. Basically, the new law, if it passes, will require new cars sold in Maryland to have the same very strict standards as those in California. This year, the legislature turned down the governor's proposal to raise taxes through a complete reorganization of taxes. But House Speaker Clayton Mitchell said major tax hikes might be necessary next year.
It's very difficult to say, but I think the thing that we're going to do is to look at the tax inequity in the state. But as to whether, how much money we'll need next time or what we'll need, I can't say at this time.
And speaking of the budget, which the governor says will result in state worker layoffs, the president of the Senate disagrees.
Well, the governor's wrong. You know, the governor's been wrong before. He was wrong in December, he was wrong in January, he was wrong in February, wrong in March, and he's going wrong in April. So if the legislature did not build any layoffs in the budget, I can't emphasize that strongly enough.
So you can hear very evidently the problems between the legislature and the governor, which have created problems throughout the last 90 days, are still here, Mary Beth.
And let's hope that last comment about the layoffs holds true. Thanks, Lou. Stan?
Well, a daring rescue today during a fire in the Pimlico area saves the life of a 3-year-old girl and her pregnant mother. Just before 1 o'clock this afternoon, 28-year-old Cheryl Newman noticed the apartment building next door to her was on fire.
When I came outside, I saw Peaches and this little girl here up in the window. And in that window right there? Right up in this top window.
told Channel 2 reporter Randy Page that she ran up the stairs in the smoke-filled apartment and pulled 3-year-old Crystal Randall to safety. 2 other neighbors then rescued the little girl's pregnant mom.
What gave you the perseverance to go into a black, smoke-filled hallway?
Fear. I didn't want him to die.
Firefighters arrived just minutes later to pull 43-year-old Nancy Ellis out of the burning building. Tonight, Ellis is listed in critical condition at a local hospital. Fire investigators say they believe the fire was started by a careless smoker in an upstairs living room. Well, despite the ruling by the highest court in the land supporting her conviction, former Howard County daycare operator Sandra Craig may be off the hook. Last June, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled it was okay for children to testify against Craig on closed-circuit television during her 1987 trial. But today, the Maryland Court of Appeals reversed Craig's conviction. The Maryland court says the decision to allow closed-circuit testimony was not handled properly. A Howard County prosecutor says he doesn't know right now if Craig will be tried again.
It was to be the first spacewalk since 1985. It turned out to be the second. Atlantis astronauts Jerry Ross and Jay Apt today ventured outside to the shuttle's open cargo bay. They were practicing today for the future construction of Space Station Freedom. But yesterday, it was no exercise. Yesterday, the astronauts took an unscheduled emergency spacewalk to free a stuck antenna on the Gamma Ray Observatory. After the antenna was fixed, the shuttle's 5-member crew deployed the 17-ton satellite without a hitch.
When the news hour continues, lots of Orioles fans are going to be nursing some sunburn cases tomorrow.
I bet meteorologist Norm Lewis is getting a little pink by now. We'll take you back out to the stadium for Norm's live forecast. But first, another baseball memory from Memorial Stadium. We'll be right back.
And Yogi read the comics all the while. Rock and roll was being born. Marijuana we would scorn. So down on the corner, the national pastime went. Now we're even bigger, so we can serve you better.
It's Rent-A-Center's 1,000 store grand opening. Get a JVC remote control VCR for an incredible $9.99 a week. A sharp 100-watt stereo system, just $14.99 a week. And lots more store-wide. Don't miss our 1,000 store grand opening, because more stores mean more buying power and more low prices for you.
At Rent-A-Center. Look at us now, Super Fresh.
Look for this week's Super Fresh Circular and spend less throughout the store.
Look what we've got.
Save on USDA Choice Beef, boneless bottom round roast, just $1.99 a pound. Tropicana frozen orange juice, just 99 cents for a 12-ounce can. And U.S. #1 Russet, Maine baking potatoes, only 99 cents for a 5-pound bag.
Super Fresh. Look at us now. Through the years, you've never let me down. You turned my life around. The sweetest days I've found with you. Through the years.
From dishwashers to refrigerators, a KitchenAid will last.
Through the years.
KitchenAid appliances will last through the years, but these special values won't. Now on selected models.
Through the years.
According to experts, in most areas of the United States, there are just 2 kinds of homes. Those that have termites and those that are going to have termites. Each year, termites invade over 2 million homes, causing an estimated $1 billion in property damage. Will your home be next? Call Terminix. Terminix stops termites. We guarantee it. No ifs, ands, or bugs. Call for a free termite inspection.
Well, maybe some of you were lucky enough to witness the first opening day back in 1954. I was born by then. I was just a year old. And you probably remember how it rained just until moments before that first pitch. Speaking of first pitches, this one almost hit me in the head today over the stadium, but I have my souvenir from the last opening day.
Did you get it signed?
Well, I had to get back here and get ready for the newscast, so maybe they'll sign it the second game.
There'll be some more famous people at the games throughout the season.
Okay, you'll be there, right?
That's right, and I'll sign it.
Okay.
Well, there's no threat of rain today. Meteorologist Norm Lewis shut out those storm clouds. He joins us now live from third base with more on the weather. Hi, Norm.
Hey, how you doing, Mary Beth? Like you said, a lot of people are feeling a little bit pink, and I'm on the pink side myself.
I decided to try to beat some of the heat and wear some shorts, and I've been getting the cracks all day that they've seen better legs on pianos. But I'll tell you what, it was a beautiful day weather-wise, a lot of heat, a lot of humidity. You know, I went back and I looked up what the weather was for our first opening day, 1954. We had cloudy skies, overcast conditions. The temperature was 58 degrees, the wind was blowing, and when the O's took the field on that first day, the clouds parted and the sun came out. Well, the sun was already out, but unfortunately, the final score wasn't exactly what we wanted. However, we've got many, many more in store this year. A beautiful day. This was the warmest opening day that we have ever had here at Memorial Stadium for the O's, with temperatures up in the upper 80s. Did not reach the record, which was 92 degrees, but we did have a very warm day today. Out to the west of us, we've got a very warm wedge of air working its way in our direction. Some showers and thunderstorms will be moving into the region a little bit later on tonight, and those are going to be lasting through the day tomorrow. So tomorrow is going to be a day that you're going to be needing the umbrellas with showers and thunderstorms throughout the day, and then things are going to cool off just a tiny bit. As far as the forecast for this evening, look for cloudy skies tonight, scattered showers and thunder showers overnight, low 57. Tomorrow during the day, going to be a cloudy day, scattered showers throughout the day. High tomorrow is only going to reach 75 degrees. Then on Wednesday, the showers will be ending, hopefully in time for the second game that they play with Chicago on Wednesday. Thursday, partly cloudy and only 69 degrees. So I hope you enjoyed the weekend. Hope you enjoyed opening day. The weather couldn't have been nicer. The next couple of days, well, we started downhill slide, but that's kind of good news, actually, because the weather we had today is more indicative of midsummer rather than the beginning of summer. We'll talk more about the weather in a little bit. Back to Mary Beth and Stan.
All right, Norm, thank you very much. By the way, we didn't get a shot of his legs.
You think
I know people are going to call. He mentioned the shorts, but we didn't
We'll have to
shoot
do
the
that a
legs.
little later in the show.
That's a blessing, though, actually. You ever seen Norm's legs? There's much more ahead here on the News Hour, including a little help for all of you procrastinators who still have not done your taxes.
Also ahead, if your child wants to grow up to be in the big leagues, we'll tell you about a safer way to play the sport. Actor Michael Landon gets some very bad news from his doctors. We'll have details. And who really was in charge of the Reagan White House? We'll bring you highlights of the unsanctioned biography of Nancy Reagan. Stay with us.
Oh, boy. Somebody must think we're special because we got Post Raisin Bran. It's premium.
Premium?
Tastes great, right? Because Post only picks the big, plump raisins, not little ones.
No way.
Those big, crispy flakes. Look close.
Looks bumpy.
Well, that's a natural whole wheat and a wheat bran. Somebody sure must think we're special.
It's our mommy.
Post Raisin Bran. It's premium, and that makes everybody feel like somebody special.
Tired of the same songs over and over?
Strike a pose, strike a pose, strike a pose, and strike a pose.
Now get more variety in your workday. Introducing the No Repeat Workday. It's new from Mix 106.5, and it's your guarantee that you'll hear more of your favorite songs from the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s. More variety from Mix 106.5 and no repetition. Tune in, the No Repeat Workday only from Mix 106.5. Now with no repetition all day long.
The problem with most weeds is they have unusually deep roots. And if you don't pull up the whole root, the weeds will grow right back. So this year, try Scott's Turf Builder Plus 2 Weed and Feed. You'll get a great lawn without weeds or your money back. From Scott's.
How many among you have allowed unskilled mechanics to change thy oil, to lay unworthy hands upon thy suffering brakes? But there is salvation. There is a one-stop car care center that can heal all your automotive ills. And it goes by the name Precision 2.
Get a free engine diagnosis only at Precision Tune. Baltimore County General Hospital will hold a health fair Friday from 8 to 11 a.m. at the Fire Hall in Glendon. Telephone 521-5905 for information.
In HealthCast on this opening day, it seems only appropriate that the subject is safer baseballs for younger ball players.
Youngsters just learning how to play face the risk of getting hit by a hard ball. And so do we watching the game today. HealthCast reporter Dr. Winnie King's here, and you say that there is a few safety balls on the market.
That's right, and it's not a moment too soon. According to the Consumer Commission on Safety for Injuries, childhood injuries from baseball injuries represents more injuries than any other organized sport. Now, there are about 21 balls that have met the safety standards set by the National Operating Committee on Standards for Athletic Equipment, or NOCSAE. They range from the 55-year-old Kinko ball, a rubber ball that has a pressurized air inside instead of the hardcore center, to the newest safe ball called the Reduced Injury Factor, or RIF ball. The RIF ball looks, feels, and handles like a normal hard ball, but it reduces the chance of injury by over 90%. This team in Bel Air is using the RIF ball for the first time this year, thanks in part to the concern of a mother whose son was hit by a ball last year.
He did get knocked out where he didn't even remember any of that. To this day, he still doesn't remember walking back to the behind the stop. And I took him to the hospital, and he wound up with a concussion. He's very lucky.
A standardized test measures the probability of serious head injury from a ball thrown at 60 miles an hour. 3 Little League approved balls had chances of injury well above the level set by NOCSAE, but the fourth, the RIF ball, had less than a 2% chance of injury. That helped persuade the president of Bel Air Baseball to try the RIF ball with his 9 and 10-year-old players. But first, he tested the RIF ball on his 3 ball-playing sons to see if they could tell the difference between it and standard use baseballs.
When they looked at the ball, they said yes. When they were blindfolded, they couldn't tell the difference.
Dr. Bill Howard of the Sports Medicine Clinic at Union Memorial Hospital says the safer balls will improve the game.
I think especially for little kids, because a little kid isn't scared about striking out or dropping a ground ball. What a little kid worries about is being clobbered by the ball and injured.
Most of the kids on the Bel Air team say they like the safer ball. Now, some of the teams in the United States are not just using safer balls, they're also using chest protectors and breakaway bases to reduce the injuries. Now, a lot of people think that the reason why children get injured with baseballs is because of head trauma, and in fact, it's not true. It's trauma to the chest, and that's because of the fact that children just don't have the same musculature in their chest, and they don't have the fat that adults have. And so what they have is a trauma to the chest, and a lot of them go on to have cardiac arrest and die.
You know, I was just feeling this, and you're right, it feels a lot like a regular baseball. What's it made out of?
Well, the cover is the same as the official baseball. It's made out of plain old leather. It's got the red stitching. The inside is polyurethane, and that's the reason why it's so much safer. That's right. It absorbs the impact and protects the child.
Okay. Thank you, Winnie. Dan?
Well, tonight, Metro Crime Stoppers need your help to solve a Howard County bank robbery case. If your tip leads to the arrest and the indictment of the suspect in this case, you could be eligible for a cash reward of up to $1,000. And tonight we have some videotape of the actual robbery. It may help you identify one of the suspects involved. On Friday, March 8th, just before 7 p.m., it was business as usual at the Citizens National Bank in the 6700 block of Old Columbia Pike. Then, a man came into the bank and gave a teller a note announcing a robbery. He threatened to kill the teller if she did not comply. After he got the cash, the suspect fled from the bank, joining a second man on a nearby bike path. They walked away from the area together. The first suspect is described as a black male, 30 years of age, 5 feet 9 inches tall, 175 pounds. He wore a wig, glasses, a blue coat, and dark pants. The second suspect is a white male in his late 20s. He is 5 feet 8 inches tall and wore a black baseball cap turned backwards, a black jacket, and blue jeans. If you do have information on the suspects in this robbery case, call the Metro Crime Stoppers. The hotline number, 276-8888. You do not have to give your name, and the phone call is not recorded, but you must use that hotline number to qualify for the cash reward.
Well, if you haven't done so already, mark your calendars. Tax day is just 1 week away. In tonight's Tax Miser tip, Channel 2's Brad Ganson looks at standard deductions versus itemizing.
Did you know more taxpayers claimed the standard deduction on their federal return last year than itemized? Since the standard deduction amount has increased over the past 4 years, many people who itemized in the past will find that it's no longer necessary. Those filing as a single taxpayer get a $3,250 deduction. If you're married and filing a joint return with your spouse, there's a $5,450 standard deduction. And these amounts are even higher if you were 65 or older during 1990. After you've added up all your itemized deductions, compare the total with a standard deduction for your filing status. Then take the amount which is higher. In most cases, it will be the standard deduction. With this tip from the Tax Miser, I'm Brad Ganson, Channel 2 News.
This Tax Miser tip is brought to you by Loyola Federal, helping Marylanders with their banking needs for 112 years, and in cooperation with the Internal Revenue Service.
This is Hardee's quarter-pound cheeseburger. Its dimensions about 64.65 millimeters bun to bun. The patty 12.65 millimeters of 100% thick, juicy beef. And for a limited time only, it's just 99 cents. Now, we believe there isn't a cheeseburger this thick and this high for this low in the business. So recently, we offered all the other fast food restaurant chains half the screen to compare their cheeseburgers to ours. But no film arrived. Obviously, they're afraid of height. Hardee's quarter-pound cheeseburger. It's very high, but at a very low price, only Hardee's.
Valley View Farms is a magical store where spring is in bloom from door to door. Valley View Farms is the place that cares about your planting needs and how your garden fares. Every day, every way, Valley View really tries with gardening tips to help your plants thrive. Come in and see us. Enjoy spring this year. 'Cause wherever you live, there's a store that's near. We're Valley View Farms in Cockeysville, Fullerton, and Northwest Plaza. We appreciate your business, and you'll know it.
Hurry in for Circuit City's National Home Appliance Sale and get 0% interest for 6 months on all Whirlpool, all KitchenAid, all AirTemp, all Estate, all Maytag, select Magic Step, and for 3 months on select Amana. Save on this Whirlpool 2-speed large capacity washer, now only $288.97. Save on top brand washers, dryers, refrigerators, ranges, and more. Hurry in for the National Home Appliance Sale, going on now.
Welcome to Circuit City, where service is state-of-the-art.
What's that great smell? Chicken. Oh, yeah. And stovetop stuffing. Your mom is making stovetop instead of potatoes? The celery, the onions, and all that great stuff? Think I could stay? Sure. Mom, can I eat it to me?
Yes, but we're having chicken and stovetop.
What time?
8.
What time are you eating? 6, I think. Hello, Mom.
You can never get enough stovetop stuffing instead of potatoes. Try stovetop microwave stuffing, specially made for the microwave.
Thomas is manipulated by a beautiful woman.
You must kill him.
Murder for Love on Magnum. Tomorrow morning at 11 on Channel 2.
It's 5:38 and time for one final check on tonight's rush hour traffic situation.
Metro Traffic Sandra Woodward is standing by. Hi, Sandra.
Well, we got 50,000 people leaving the stadium now, so you know that means some heavy traffic on all the outbound routes leaving Memorial Stadium, starting especially with 33rd Street, which is one-way westbound now, and all the major routes around there are going to be heavy. Maryland Avenue, St. Paul, the Alameda, and Loch Raven, as well as outbound on the Jones Falls Expressway, and also on Martin Luther King Boulevard. Now, the Beltway pretty much back to a typical rush hour. You'll find heavy traffic on the northeast inner loop from Charles Street to Providence Road. West side a little slow now as well from the 95 interchange up towards Frederick Road. That's the latest for Metro Traffic. Back to you, Stan and Mary Beth.
Thank you, Sandra. Vice President Quayle made his professional pitching debut at Memorial Stadium this afternoon. Guess you'd call it that.
And maybe you saw it, too. I think it hit third baseman. We'll hear from the Vice President tonight at 6 o'clock about his opening day visit to Baltimore. You're going to have to dig deeper into your pockets to pay for those hamburgers, peanuts, and soda. We'll have the 91 food price increases at the stadium. Plus, we'll take you on a trip down memory lane to relive some magic moments from the first opening day 37 years ago. Those stories and lots more coming up at 6 o'clock. Hope you'll stay tuned.
We'll see you then.
Okay.
In news today around the nation, an arrest still has not been made for the alleged rape of a woman on the Kennedy family compound in Palm Beach over the Easter weekend. William Kennedy Smith, who refused to be questioned in connection with the alleged incident in Florida, today submitted blood and hair samples to Palm Beach police. The 30-year-old medical student at Georgetown University has been identified as the prime suspect in the case. Former President Reagan and his wife are refusing to comment on the just-released book about the former First Lady. The book by Kitty Kelly paints a very unflattering picture of Nancy Reagan. It describes her as a power-hungry woman who manipulated her husband and others. It also claims that Mrs. Reagan had an illicit affair with Frank Sinatra that began while Reagan was governor of California and continued while he was president. A spokesperson for Sinatra says he won't dignify the story with a comment. Nancy Reagan, the unauthorized biography, hit the bookshelves today. TV actor Michael Landon, who rose to fame as Little Joe on Bonanza and went on to become America's favorite angel on Highway to Heaven, has been diagnosed with inoperable cancer. Landon is expected to meet with doctors to determine what course of treatment he can follow for pancreas and liver cancer that was diagnosed last week. A publicist for the actor says Landon is confident he will beat the cancer. And when we come back, we'll go back to 33rd Street to recap today's home opener. But first, another 1954 memory. Stay with us.
Weeds, no problem. Kill weeds and grasses, roots and all, with a shot of Roundup. For driveways, patios, fences. Make weeding easy. With Roundup, nothing kills weeds better.
Now, when you buy any size of Roundup or Green Sweep, you can get over $200 worth of coupons on all sorts of things to do in your spare time. The book's free when you buy either Roundup or Green Sweep. So pick up a bottle.
Or two.
Yeah, right.
If you like the fresh, delicate flavors of Italian food, you're ready for the fresh, authentic taste of Provincia Parmesan. No Parmesan from a can is this moist. No Parmesan from a can is this fresh. Fresh food deserves fresh cheese. Look for Provincia in the specialty cheese section.
Che tipo di formaggio è? Provincia Parmigiana.
Provincia Parmesan. Freshness you can't can.
LensCrafters presents another breakthrough, new featherweight lenses.
Anything you can do for a really heavy prescription?
Try our new featherweights. They're so light you hardly know you've got them on.
Featherweight lenses, lighter, slimmer, and oh so comfortable. Available only from LensCrafters in-store labs in about an hour. New featherweights.
They're so comfortable.
For all your eyewear needs, LensCrafters custom-crafted eyeglasses in about an hour.
4 area locations, including Hunt Valley Mall and inside Marley Station.
Popeye's chicken tastes like a good time. And now more than ever, it's priced for a good time. Just $3.99 for 5 pieces, and only $5.99 for 9 pieces. Every piece is seasoned just right for that famous New Orleans flavor. Yeah. Get the 5-piece special for $3.99, or the 9-piece special for $5.99. But get it today, while the good times are rolling at Popeyes.
You're gonna love that chicken from Popeyes. Yeah. Woman in Sandusky, Ohio, suing MTV for showing Madonna's belly button. Beautiful and, of course, special.
Now, does she have an innie or an outie?
Story's really not that in-depth, Pat.
Well, I need to know.
Yeah,
I really think that's important.
You do. Hello, B104.
Yeah, hi. I think Barbara Eden's belly button on I Dream of Janie is much sexier than Madonna's.
You know, that's right. She's on Dallas now.
Yeah.
Hey, is this Major Nelson?
Okay, the question is, whose belly button would you rather pour water into and suck out with a straw? Madonna's or Jeannie's?
Well, this final opening day at Memorial Stadium is special for all the fans, but it's also got to be a little emotional for the players, too, and maybe even for our own Scott Garceau, who's standing by live at Memorial Stadium. Hi, Scott.
Hello, Mary Beth. I think so to a certain extent for me, but if it was the last game, yes, it is the last opener. We still have a full season of baseball, and that's the good news for any Oriole fan today. Of course, this one didn't go very well, but there's 161 left, and that's the great thing about this game of baseball. You don't play a 12 or 14 game season. It's the long haul, and certainly some better things coming up. But it was all White Sox here today. Let's take a look at some of the highlights. 50,213 came out here today, and they didn't have a whole lot to cheer about, but prior to the game, the fans enjoying 89-degree temperatures, an all-time record high, and things look good in the first inning. Glenn Davis, the new Oriole, the Birds are hoping for so much from offensively. Rips one into the left field corner. Corey Snyder has a little trouble out there, and Cal comes all the way around and scores. Orioles had a 1-0 lead, but then the White Sox got it going. Bouncer right here, and Craig Worthington lost the handle on it. Corey Snyder there, that was in the second inning, and then Sammy Sosa connects on a Jeff Ballard changeup here and rocks a 3-run homer. Sosa with a big day with 2 homers for the White Sox, and they were off and running at that point with a 3-1 lead. A 5-run 6th inning. Scott Fletcher with a blast here at the bases loaded. Bounces one over the wall for a double, scoring 2 runs. Fletcher, the number 9 hitter, and shows you what kind of lineup the White Sox can put out there. And Sammy Sosa finishing his brilliant day with his 2nd homer right here. 2 homers for Sosa. White Sox put it in the win column. Final score 9-1 as the White Sox, behind some great pitching from Jack McDowell, defeat the Orioles. The good news for the Birds is with us right now Mike Flanagan, who got just a great introduction here at the stadium, a welcome home. And I said I wasn't Mike Flanagan, but I had tingles up my spine. What did it feel like to see the crowd like that?
It felt the same for me. I didn't really think about it and didn't really expect it. And I didn't really know what to expect. And they were saying in the dugout before, well, he's going to outdo this guy an ovation and that guy. And I said, what are you talking about, you know? So I try to kind of just sneak out there, and they wouldn't let me, and it's something I don't think I'll ever forget. I mean, at one point it was actually a little bit embarrassing. I didn't know quite what to do or how to react to it all. And finally, Kilgus, who was standing next to me, said, "You better tip your hat, or we're going to be here a while." And then, you know, they were all rating it after that, and they said, "Well, you outdid the Secretary of Defense," and I think that's enough right there.
A terrific day, and you got to top it off by getting in an inning's worth of work, and it was a good inning, so that must make you feel good as well.
Well, you know, it's an adjustment for me to be in the bullpen, but I've been very open-minded about it, and you know, they say you need an inning of work, and that's the biggest problem I'm having now is when I should throw, or should I always be saving it for the next game, and so I got in, and I'm glad I did. I felt great once I got on the mound, and I've always felt comfortable in this ballpark.
I said coming in, I know a lot of fans go home disappointed. Orioles got drilled here by the White Sox today, but this game is really the long haul, and you guys can forget about them real quick, right, because there's so many of them.
Well, it's true. I mean, just on the selfish point, I'll never forget the game. I mean, it was an 8-1 game, and a lot of people won't ever remember it, but for me, no matter what happens the rest of this year, I've had a great moment in the sun and a beautiful day in the last year of this ballpark, which I don't know if I ever thought I would see or experience. It's just a very special day for me.
Well, you got a free ride today, but you're going to earn the next 161. But good luck and welcome back. And you were the highlight today.
Well, it was terrific. I hope I'm not the highlight this way every time, but hopefully we'll score a lot more runs and things will be better next time.
All right, Mike. Thanks a lot. Mike Flanagan, who had his special moment here at the stadium today. Got some other baseball for you this afternoon. Let's take a look at some highlights. Opening day in Toronto, where the Red Sox and Roger Clemens invaded the Sky Dome up there. Of course, Clemens was supposed to sit out the opener, but here's the story. Jack Clark, bases loaded. He launches his 8th career grand slam. The Red Sox over the Blue Jays 6-2, and that is exactly what the Red Sox got Jack Clark to do, and he took Dave Stieb out for the grand slam homer. Other scores this afternoon in the American League. Kansas City beat Cleveland 4-2. Albert Bell had a homer in that one. Alan Trammell with a homer for the Tigers. They took care of the Yankees, the final there. Detroit 6 and New York 4. In the National League, Cincinnati beat Houston 6-2. The world champion Reds win that one. And New York over Philadelphia. That final score was 2-1. Got a quick basketball note for you on this baseball day. Kenny Anderson, the brilliant guard from Georgia Tech, has filed for the NBA draft. He's leaving his college career and headed for the NBA. Scored 26 a game, and he will make somebody a good NBA guard. Back with more at 6 o'clock, but today belongs to the White Sox and perhaps Mike Flanagan. That was what was special, at least from my viewpoint, today here at Memorial Stadium. Mary Beth?
And for White Sox fans, I guess maybe a little payback from 1954.
Yeah, and 1983, too, when the Orioles beat them in the American League Championship Series. But, you know, they kind of have going this year what the Orioles are going to have next year. Their first year in a new stadium, a good young team, and we'll try to do that next year. But don't count the Orioles out just because they lost the opener this year.
Yeah, maybe we do better in the rain a little bit.
All right.
Thanks, Scott.
All right, Mary Beth.
Still ahead on the News Hour, can meteorologist Norm Lewis give us an instant replay of today's weather? We'll find out. But first, another 1954 memory.
Bob's all-you-can-eat breakfast bar. All this to choose from for just $3.99 weekdays. Stop on by. $3.99's going to make your day.
Using proven scientific methods, we can predict everything about the typical American family in 1991. They will have exactly 2.4 children. Everyone will have the exact same banking needs. Hence, banking packages will be the same for all people in 1991, since all people will be the same in 1991.
Introducing Signature, banking for the individual.
It's deer season sale day. Now is the time to save at your full-service John Deere dealer. See Dan at Finch Services, Westminster. Steve or Tom at Suburban Sales and Rental Center, Cockeysville. Paul at White House Farm Supply, Upperco. Richard or Dick at Enfield Equipment, Whiteford. Or Anna at Providence Motors, Dowson. Buy now and get a John Deere walk-behind for as low as $369. Or an STX lawn tractor for as little as $79 a month. See the experts for parts and equipment you need at your full-service John Deere dealer.
If somebody told you if you bought a lottery ticket today, you were guaranteed to win the lottery this week, would you put off buying that ticket? Would you put off doing something that you knew was guaranteed to work for you? I wouldn't. You know, it's the kind of thing that if you just try it, you see the difference. If you're at all interested in looking and feeling great, then do it now. Why put it off till next week?
For total fitness, join Holiday now and get 2 people for 1 or 50% off dues. Call 1-800-695-7777.
Listen up. You think if you get a girl pregnant, it's her problem, right? Wrong. For you, it's all over. All she wrote. Even if a brother doesn't come looking for you, you think I'm going to let you play like nothing happened? You'll be lucky to finish high school. Never mind college. Start thinking with your head. You may be old enough to do it. You aren't old enough to handle it.
Talk to your kids about sex. If you need help, call this number.
The boys of summer got some summer-like weather for their home opener at 33rd Street. And who wears short shorts? Meteorologist Norm Lewis is still at the stadium with a preview of tomorrow's weather. Do you, Norm?
Now, wait a minute. I just wear regular shorts.
Woo, there
just regular shorts. I even skinned my shin getting in and out of a seat here today, but I tell you what, it was short-like weather. Very warm today. Not a record setter, but it was the warmest opening day that we've ever had. Our daytime high today up around 88 degrees. Right now, temperature falling off very nicely. We do have some clouds moving in from the west. Those clouds are preceding a weather system that's going to bring in some showers and also some thunderstorm activity by tomorrow. And that's what your breakfast forecast is going to be tomorrow. Look for showers and thunder showers around. Overnight low down around 57 degrees and kind of a rainy day on tap, but we'll detail that a little bit more a little bit later on in the weather. Mary Beth?
Okay, so keep the umbrellas on hand tomorrow. Thanks. Opening day 1991 at Memorial Stadium is history now, but a few of the Orioles faithful are still at the ballpark. You heard Sandra Woodward talking about the traffic jam out there, and our own Tony Pagnotti is there too, only he hasn't gotten in his car yet. He's still just hanging out at the stadium. Hi, Tony.
Hello, Mary Beth. That's right. Well, I guess right about now you could say nobody here but us media types and chickens, but you know what? In the upper deck, we do see at least 1 or 2 or maybe 3 people who are just basking in the beautiful sunshine here as we're going to have a nice sunset after a not really nice game, of course, when you think of what the final score was. But it was a great day today. People came here wanting a big Orioles win. The weather was cooperating. And also we had people coming up to us showing us their ticket stubs and programs from the original opening day here. The young kids wanting to be a part of history, saying they were at the last opening day at Memorial Stadium. But in the end, things just didn't work out. But we all know that regardless of the outcome of a ball game here at Memorial Stadium, fans are ready to sing praise to their team.
Take me out to the ball game.
Aren't you luck in finding tickets?
None at all. There's too many people out here looking for tickets today.
So you don't get your 2 tickets to the ball game. You're not going to take her out to the ball game, huh?
Oh, not today. We'll take her back home and we'll watch it on TV.
Take me out to the crowd.
The bigger the crowd, the better?
That's right.
Why?
The more people, the better. Oriole magic. Hey, Oriole baseball.
Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks.
You're going to be buying some peanuts and Cracker Jacks, I take it, today, huh?
Sure, yeah.
How many bags of peanuts do you think you'll go through?
This is our first one, but we haven't got to the first inning yet, so I don't know how many we'll go through.
I don't care if I ever get back.
And you don't mind being in this crunch trying to get out in the parking lot when the game's over?
Well, I took the bus. I'm no fool.
So it's root for the Orioles.
Absolutely. The Orioles are the greatest, and they're going to win it this year. I've been coming out to every opener since 1954, and it should be the greatest.
If they don't win, it's a shame.
If the O's don't win, it's a shame, is it?
Absolutely. They've got to win. They're going to win. They're going to win the series.
How many strikes before you're out in the old ball game?
1, 2.
We still love them. They lose.
Oh.
3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game. Yeah!
It had to be a bad day when the only cheering we could find are the fans cheering for "Take Me Out to the Ball Game." And we just last checked across the street, 33rd Street, and we were wondering if people will be in that festive mood for tailgating. And people really cleared out of here early. We saw, as in the 7th inning, a lot of folks were heading out to avoid the big traffic jam. There are some people still barbecuing over there and saying, well, there's still over 160 games to go in this season, and they were a part of history this last opening day here. And I think I think, Mary Beth, there may be a fan club forming for the Norm Lewis Leg Fan Club at Memorial Stadium 1991 because, you know, Norm's signing autographs now, you know, and showing off those gams.
Those sunburn gams.
You got that right. It was a good day out here. I know you were out here earlier and had a lot of fun, and we could say we were here, you know, maybe how many years from now when the Camden Yards Stadium is the old stadium, we could say we were there at the last day.
Thanks, Tony. That wraps it up for the News Hour on this opening day. Stan and Beverly are next with Channel 2 News at 6. Thanks for spending the day with us today. And as Tony said, we can all say we've been a part of Orioles history. We'll see you tomorrow night.
If you see news in the making, call the Channel 2 News tip line by dialing 435-TIPS or call free of charge *1 TV2 on your Cellular One car phone. Channel 2 News, voted best news operation by the Associated Press.
Is a sneaker inside these little bumps.
Spirit, let the spirit move you.
At the Cobby Shop.
Jeopardy. Any questions?
Tonight at 7:30.
A good baseball afternoon to you. The final season opener at Memorial Stadium is celebrated with great fanfare. From pre-game festivities to the last out, we have team coverage.
While the O's and White Sox are playing ball in Baltimore, state legislators wrapped up another legislative session. Students at a local elementary school are rolling up their sleeves. We'll tell you why. And Atlantis astronauts practice their space shuttle. Good evening, everybody. I'm Stan Stovall.
I'm Beverly Berg. These stories and much more ahead on Channel 2 News at 6.
From WMAR-TV, Baltimore, friends you can turn to. You're watching Channel 2 News at 6 with Beverly Berg, Stan Stovall, meteorologist Norm Lewis, and sports with Scott Garcone. This is Channel 2 News.
Despite the perfect weather, the pitching debut of Vice President Dan Quayle and pre-game festivities to celebrate a Memorial Stadium milestone, it was a tough start for our hometown Birds.
After all was said and done, the Orioles took it on the chin in this final season opener on 33rd Street. Good evening, everybody. Thanks for joining us. The Boys of Summer kicked off a new season at Memorial Stadium, but it is also the last season at Memorial Stadium.
That's because today marks the beginning of the end on 33rd Street. It was a bittersweet afternoon filled with all kinds of festivities to honor this year's players as well as veteran O's. And overlooking the field, some famous Bird fans, including Defense Secretary Dick Cheney, Vice President Dan Quayle's wife Marilyn, and TV and radio host celebrity Larry King. That's along with thousands of fans who helped make this last opening day a sellout. All will be part of the memories to make this a season to remember.
And of course, we don't have to tell you this opening day at the stadium was very special because it is the last opening day there at 33rd Street, but also because the baseball season got underway while our nation was at peace once again. Part of today's pregame festivities were a tribute to the U.S. and the troops involved in the Persian Gulf War.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, we direct your attention to the Diamond Vision board in right center field for a special video message prepared by Major League Baseball for our service men and women still serving in the Middle East.
Hi, I'm Petty Officer Michael Tuco, United States Coast Guard, Los Angeles, California. Hi, I'm Sergeant Robert Jenks. I'm from Fairfax, Virginia.
From Operation Desert Storm, let's play ball!
Now, ladies and gentlemen, let us please observe a moment of silence in memory of those men and women who have lost their lives while defending the right of people everywhere to live free. We would like now to present a Baltimore native, U.S. Army Staff Sergeant Dolores King Williams, to sing our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hail at the...
Representatives of all 5 branches of the U.S. Armed Services who served in the Gulf also received special recognition this afternoon.
Well, with such a historic event, you didn't have to look far to find famous and familiar faces. The record books will note that the first pitch was thrown by Vice President of the United States, Dan Quayle. I followed him from the pitcher's mound into the announcer's booth. Who could ask for a more enthusiastic crowd? Special events bring out the cheers in everyone, and this last opening day at Memorial Stadium is an event. First pitch honors went to the Vice President, Dan Quayle, who seemed to really enjoy taking the mound. Moments later, the Vice President was handed another ball by the first player to pitch for the Orioles back on opening day 1954, Bullet Bob Turley. This was not to be the last ball Quayle handled today. More on that in a moment. There was another autograph to sign before he ducked out through the Orioles dugout, all under the watchful eyes of Secret Service agents, including this guy with the crow's nest view on the stadium lights. The Vice President's next stop didn't take him quite that high, but definitely a prime view of the game between the Orioles and Chicago's White Sox. Of the privileges that go with the office, besides being able to throw out the first pitch, you can always sit in with 2 Hall of Famers for a little fun play-by-play.
The count is 2 balls and no strikes. 1 out.
So was it pressure sitting in with the pros?
They didn't give me any tips. As a matter of fact, they were poking me in the ribs the whole time. It wasn't very fair at all, but I enjoyed it.
I also noticed that they only gave you the White Sox media guide. They didn't give you an Orioles guide.
Yeah, they gave me the White Sox, and they said, here, call this strikeout. They were hoping that the Orioles would retire them 1, 2, 3. As a matter of fact, they did.
Quayle says he hasn't lost his love for the game since playing Little League, but today's opener is bittersweet.
Well, it's the last opening day here at Memorial Stadium. But next year, they're going to be moving to what I understand will be a tremendous stadium. So you have mixed emotions. Sad to leave the old stadium and all the history and tradition behind, but looking forward to a new start next year.
Does that mean you'll have to pull straws who gets to throw out the first pitch?
I would imagine the president might want to do it next year.
Okay. Would you please sign this for me?
Sure.
One of the privileges of being a reporter on the scene, I guess. Thank you very much, Mr. Vice President. Yeah. With that, Quayle was off to enjoy more of what he could of the game and the celebration. And if you're wondering where the president was today, he was opening the season in his home state of Texas. George Bush's son, as it turns out, is part owner of the Texas Rangers. Stan?
Well, opening day 1954. A soda cost you $0.25, peanuts a dime, beer 30 cents. Well, the prices have inched up over the years, and Channel 2's Yolanda Graham reports on concession costs this year.
Over here! Who wants a pizza?
We have 8 hot dogs and 4 beers.
Light here! Go, Beer Miller Light!
This will be enough to last us for 2 innings. Look at the size of this guy.
Come back and get 8 more hot dogs and 4 more beers, and then we'll be good to go.
Big appetites will mean bigger budgets at Memorial Stadium this year. Concession prices are up on popular items. An 18-ounce beer is $3 now, up a quarter. A large soda also is up a quarter at $2. Burgers are up to $2.75, and peanuts are $2.75, up 50 cents over last year.
They're expensive. Will that keep you from buying? Nope. It might keep my mom from buying, but not me.
About the only way to avoid the long lines and high prices is to bring your own food. Just remember, no bottles, no cans, no alcohol, and no container that won't fit under the seat. Concessionaire Sophie Hayes has been watching policies and prices change over the years. She's been selling snacks behind the counter at Memorial Stadium for 25 years.
I hate to actually see them leave here because I feel like it's, well, actually part of me, but I like it. I like it. Hopefully I'll go to the new stadium.
Sophie is relishing every moment of this last opening day, and the fans seem to be savoring the moment too. At Memorial Stadium, Yolanda Graham, Channel 2 News.
In addition to the regular food fare they have at the stadium, you're probably wondering about new items this year. Well, it includes frozen yogurt with a choice of chocolate, vanilla, or peanut. Also, their home fries with gravy or cheese.
I'll take that with a swirl. This year's opening day holds a special meaning for many Orioles fans. It's the last opening day ever at Memorial Stadium. Thousands of fans tried to say whatever they could to remember this day. Orioles tickets, programs, all marking opening day 1991. And even though the Orioles were losing the game, many said they wouldn't miss this for the world.
It's the last game of, opening day, last season at Memorial Stadium. I'm sad because we live close by. I like it.
As long as we got here to begin with, that's great with us. Just to be here is good. Just to be here opening day is best, especially the last one.
Many fans said while they're happy to see Camden Yards opening a new chapter in the Orioles book, they're also sad to say goodbye to Memorial Stadium. It doesn't even have a name, but the new ballpark under construction at Camden Yards is looking more and more like a stadium. It's being described as an old-fashioned ballpark with state-of-the-art amenities. And the construction is right on schedule, thanks in part to Mother Nature's mild weather. The grass is scheduled to arrive sometime in late August. And stadium officials say they will be ready for opening day 1992.
There's more ahead here on the News Hour, including other news of this day.
We'll tell you how one school is trying to prevent a measles problem. Plus, state legislators are working towards a midnight end of this session.
KFC introduces a new kind of fried chicken.
No skin, give me all taste.
It's called Light and Crispy.
Give me no skin, give me all taste.
New Light and Crispy. No skin, so it's light. All taste because it's marinated with 11 herbs and spices.
Give me no skin, give me all taste.